Hi and welcome. I'm John and this is Unique Wargame Terrain. Guys, welcome back. For everyone that's new, this is the Monday painting video. What is the Monday painting video and what's it all about? Well, last week's Weekly Wednesday, which is a weekly Q&A, I show you guys a host of models and you guys vote on what you want me to paint in Monday's painting video, today's video. And that's all it is I paint the model up and try and do it in a unique style and try and show you some sneaky things that you can do with colours, and I experiment with colours and things like wet blending, contrast paint, crazy things like that. So for everyone that voted, thank you very much. For all my regulars here, guys, I feel love, thank you very much. I'll see you in a second. Right, so as a lot of you would have guessed, what this model is, the Screamer Killer. Absolutely. Now it's been undercoated black. It's been primed with grey cere, and as you can see, I just went around the edge of the base to get rid of the grey cere trim from when I hold the gloves. But it's a fantastic sculpt. Absolutely amazing. Now, one thing with my Tyranids, I've got the Broodlord, the Lictor, and a unit of Gargoyles painted up. Gargoyles are fine. Don't need to do nothing else to those. But the other two guys, the Lictor and the Broodlord, I'm looking and I'm thinking they need a little bit more of something. So hopefully in this video with this model here, I'm going to experiment and do a few bits and pieces. And if it works out nice and looks good, then I'll probably implement that onto those guys. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to start with get some of my Nid colours going. Talazar blue. And for everyone that's new, I'm not going to sit here and paint every single millimetre of this model. You'll see me paint a little bit, and then I'll go camera and do the rest. But what I want to get first, all these plates. All these plates are good soaking down of the blue contrast. That's what I'm going to start with, all these plates. So he's got some plates on his legs. Yeah, he's got some plates on his tail. I'm going to go off camera and do all of those, and I'm going to come back to you when they're done. So here we are. Very nice. Just one colour, you can see that the colour base looks absolutely fantastic. But now I'm going to come in with some Doomfire Magenta. Contrast paint. This is my typical fleet colours. So I'm going to come in and do all the fleshy areas like this part here. It's all flesh. Just come in and get all of those bits. And one thing I've discovered with these two colours, if the blue's still slightly wet and it mixes with the Doomfire, it goes like a purpley colour, which is really nice colour, really nice Tyranid colour. So I'm going to do all the flesh pieces and I'm going to come back to you again, guys. So here we are. A few bits are still shiny because they're still wet. Now I'm going to come with some Creed Camo, which is another contrast paint. You get all these little bits in here. You get that part, the claw. The underside, if you like, of the claw. Why is that still wet? I'm going to come in with some Odari Emerald. I'm going to do this side of it. I'm going to make sure that I wet blend two of them together. really get in there. Just try and blend them like that. And I'm going to do this part as well. I can't do this on camera because I have to go switch between the two colours. Basically want to just wet blend it like that along the edge. Now what happened, because the Camo Creed is a darker contrast paint, it will go down along the edge, it'll go down further. Yeah, just so you see it already. And the Eldari Emerald will go towards the top. So I'm going to crack on and do that rest of the talons and come back to you again. So here's how it's looking. Let's see where those colours blend together. Just give a nice little crazy colour scheme. Now I'm going to come with the Eldari Emerald again, and I'm going to do all of this crest on the side of his head. I'm going to have camera do the rest of it. Now I'm going to come with some Trigger Violet shade. Some people are going to be scratching their heads right now. What the hell is this guy up to? Don't worry, I'm going to keep you crazed for a long time yet. So I'm going to do all Trigger Violet across all of these nodes that are coming out base. But I don't know what it's called. What is called? Dorsal fins, maybe? I don't know. Something like that. But I'm going to do them all in Trigger Violet. Now I'm going to come with some Agrex Earth shade. But here's where we're looking. I did the Trigger Violet on the bones as well, and the little pipe I come around him, and on his part of his foot there. So now I'm going to come with Agrex Earth shade. I'm going to do the top of his helmet, the top of his head crest and all that. Going to get his face, his jaw, his mouth. I'm not going to try not to get his tongue, because his tongue's going to be a mad crazy colour. Just so I can get some shade into all those little nooks and crannies. This is such a huge model. I can't wait for this model to be released single box. I can guarantee you what's going to happen straight away. It's going to sell out in the first 10 minutes or so. Especially if it's put together the same way as in the box, which I hope it will be. Because there's such an easy way to do it. And I'm going to do his hoofs as well. I'm going to go off camera and do that. I just want to share it to you. That was still a little bit wet, the Eldari Emerald, so as I'm adding the shade in, it's coming off. So what I'm doing is just running it along the edge here, so it gives me a faint like bit on the head. Okay, so now what I need to do is I need to leave that to dry properly, and then I'm going to come back and just do the. Or actually, no, I'm going to get one more colour, and then we'll leave it to dry properly. No, I'm telling lies. 2 colours. So I've got Fallopius Pink. I'm going to get these little bits in here. But as you can see, the green's still a bit wet, and the purple shade's a bit wet, so it's going to mix in nicely. Just got another one under there. Oh, it looks menacing. I already think with the Eldari Emerald and the Camo Creed and using the Trigger Violet Yeah, I think that actually has enhanced the model so much already. You guys drop a comment below and let me know what you think. But I think that looks fantastic. The last colour set up ready. Last colour, rattling grime. I'm going to get all this stonework base feet. Using the last of the rattling grimes on my brush, just to dab away from the stonework to give it blend it in a little bit. As you can see, there's bits of speckles of white in there and everything else. It just looks fine. You look at a stone on the ground and you have white stones, yellow stones, and so on. Now I'm going to leave that to dry, and then I'm just going to give it a once over, make sure there's no little white bits that I've missed or the paint's just moved away from one little area. But that looks looking quite cool around the head. Right. Right, so I've set my wet palette up. I have Calidor Sky, La Fern Blue, White Scars and Pink Horror. The colours I have there at the moment. So I'm going to start with the Calidor Sky. What I'm going to do to the colour base, I'm going to come along, put it on camera, do lines coming down. And they're called striations, are they? Sorry, I forgot. This model is actually battle ready. Okay, so what I'm doing now is taking it beyond battle ready standard. I forgot to say that. So here's where we're at. You can see the slight difference in the colour. So now I'm going to take some La Fern Blue. I'm going to repeat the same thing again. I'm going to try and do it just in between it. Not in between, but just not the same length. And La Fern Blue is a layer paint, so it will go on bright and dull itself down. Again, I'm not going to do all of it on camera, I'm just going to do a little bit so you can get the idea of it. So you can see on the claws how it looks. So now I'm going to come with some horror pink, and I'm going to just start picking out muscle. Now again, it's a layer paint, so it will go on bright and dull itself down. I'm literally going to pick out all of the raised areas that I can. And if I come across any bits of the white that I've missed before I put the contrast paint on, I then can use this to get rid of it. So I'm going to crack on and do this. It might take 2 coats, but the second coat, see I've done the first coat there, second coat will be smaller. And what I'll probably do the second coat is mix a little bit of white scars into it to make it even lighter. So here's how it looks after the first coat. So now I'm going to mix up some white scars with some pink horror, Give me a much lighter colour. I'm going to come back over. It looks a bit mad at the moment because it is very bright, but it's a layer paint, so it'll go on bright and dull itself down. I'm going to crack on to the rest of this guy and I'll come back to you again. Well, I think that's all the layering I'm going to do. So now I'm going to come with some dry brushing. So I'm going to get some white scars on my dry brush. Bit of tissue in my lap. I'm going to come in and I'm going to dry brush the teeth. And the rest of his face, all the cheekbones. And his crest on his head. I'm just going to try and get that middle section as well of his head crest. Now I'm going to come with some more white scars. I don't know if this is going to work because they're still a bit wet. I'm going to dry brush the top of these. Dry brush this bad boy. I think that's a good move now because the wash still looks quite wet in there. It's very wet in there. But it's cool. I've got the bit I wanted to get. Now I'm going to come in with some Lothern blue. So I do, yeah, Lothern blue is one bit I need to get done. There's some Lothern blue on my brush. And I'm going to get all this underneath. So gently just to flick it up a bit and go for it. I'm doing a mixture of an edge highlight and a dry brush, but it's a flat brush, so it's a lot easier to do. Just targeting the bottom plates. That looks absolutely medicine. I'm actually going to grab whatever little bits of white scars that are left on that wet palette after mixing it up. I'm going to edge highlight this rock. Well, not edge highlight, sort of dry brush and edge highlight with this flat brush. Just to break that up a little bit. Because the foot and the rock are looking very similar, even though they're two different shades. Looking very similar. Normally I would highlight the rock first of all and then do my rattling grime over the top, but I want to mix it up a little bit and just do a few things different. I need to dry brush that with white as well. Let me get some more white scars on the palette. Right, I got a little bit carried away with my scars. I started doing bits of the bottom parts of the carapace and bits of the claws, and really carried away here. I had to put it down and stop myself because it's just started getting a bit too much. There's the claws. So what I'm going to do now, the last colour is Niblet Green, dry paint. For those of you who've never used dry paint before, it looks like that. Yeah, there's no movement to it at all, but as soon as you put a brush into it, it's very, very, very pliable. See? You can't put it out on the wet palette though. So take it off onto the brush them off onto the tissue, and now I'm going to dry brush the Eldari Emerald and the Creed Camo. And the Talons. And I'm going to go off camera and do all that because you don't see me doing that. And here we have it. One Screamer Killer. As voted on by you guys. I absolutely love this model. I love the paint job as well. I think I've really pushed the envelope a little bit. The only thing I would do to this model now is when all of this is dry, because the wash in there just doesn't seem to want to dry, I might come over with some white scars and just do the plates and the face and the teeth. The tongue I've missed, but I'll do the tongue. Once I've done that, I'll do the tongue with some sort of vibrant colour. That's it really. If there's any comments or questions, chuck them below as always. If you're not subscribed to the channel, guys, it costs you absolutely nothing to hit the subscribe button and turn your notifications on so you don't miss anything I produce. For everyone that voted, massive thank you for you guys. Everyone please smash the thumbs up button to share this video with more and more people, so make this lovely community grow even more. And thank you for watching. If anyone has anything to say to me, chuck it below as usual. And here's looking forward to this week's Weekly Wednesday, because the amount of models I have here to choose from is just insane. But anyway, guys, until next time, take it easy.